Hello and welcome to part 2 of our Republic Star Destroyer, the Venator class. In the first part, we were just doing all the kind of busy work with the engines and the bridge sections and a little bit on, the detailing on the top and bottom of the main hull section, describing lines and a little bit of styrene just to catch you up. So let's get going with what we've done here. Now this part's just fitted in. I was just checking, but you can see where on this side right here I have started placing in kind of the trench of our ship here, that middle section. You can see where we have opened up that bay area for our ships to exit out. Now I know the Venator opens up in the middle, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave that intact, but I will have both sides of these opened up. So to get there, I had to remove quite a bit of flashing and stuff because I do want to light this trench area, this middle section of our ship. And the way this is designed is this plastic kind of goes up, and when you put the two holes together, it kind of blocks all the light. So you have to kind of cut away all that. I did leave just a little bit for it to rest against, and I left the notched in sections so I could get my pieces to fit correctly where they're supposed to go. And you can kind of see here on the inside of this where I have glued these into position. You can see how it's now opened up the area behind our trench section. And I believe I actually did some minor, I don't know if you can tell, but I did drill a few holes out. And so that'll be available for lighting. There is a middle section here that I removed. This is one section here. So I'm going to clip that off so that's not in the way when I go to start drilling out holes. We do have a kind of a front part that goes in there that it's also been kind of opened up. You can see where, again, our kind of our bay area in here. Now originally this had like slots in it, and I didn't like how the lighting was causing a kind of a slotted look on the floor when I was testing the lighting. So I've opened that up, and I'll put a piece of clear frosted plastic or something, sanded plastic, to diffuse the light coming in, and it'll kind of be lit from the top section. Get a little bit of a glimpse in there, and it'll be lit from there. So that's all now glued into place, and I'll have to do the other side, but I just want to kind of show you how that was cut away. Now this is the bottom section. Now on the top section, only had to cut away these sections right here. Around the bay area, the trench area around the shuttle area, bay area, whatever you want to call it, landing area. This part right here, I didn't worry about cutting that away. There is a bit of a lip right here, so it really doesn't hinder much light, so I didn't feel like that was necessary to cut any of this away in here. So other than kind of this section, and then along in here. So to light those, all the windows and everything, I'm going to be using some strip lighting, some bright white LED strip lighting. And I'll have that kind of running around in one continuous loop, and that will cover most of our lighting for the main hull area. There'll be some more lighting. I'll have to do something about here. If I open up the underneath landing area and do something there, I may probably have to add some kind of lighting there. Now, one thing I did do on Tinkercad, I designed and printed out on my Bamboo A1 printer this LED strip holder. And as you can see here, if I LED strip, it will kind of hold it in place. And of course, we can glue it once we get there, but I put a little bottom, and the idea is that I can run these, print out a bunch of these, I can kind of run these to hold my LED strip lighting into place, and then glue it down so it looks a little bit neater. So I was pretty happy. It took me a couple of tries to kind of get that down. I probably could close the gap a little bit more, but it will work. I think it'll work just fine. It'll hold our LED upright so it shines directly toward the sidewalls. So that's as far as the whole section is gone. Okay, here I have the bridge section where it has the dual bridges that come up, and of course I've showed how I printed out this and had some wiring in there. This is not attached. So to get this wiring, you do have a nice channel in here. You will have to trim away some of this area right here to let the wires come down. I have tested it. My light is working. This is the right side. And so these wires will run through. One thing to notice is you have this plate right here that kind of fits in right like that. So you will have to make a little channel, but you don't want to go too far or it will actually start to show right here. Just enough to give space for those wires like that. So you do have to channel out, and then that will give us room to run our wires down for our bridge section. It was a little, I did have to trim away a little bit to get it to, see if I can get it in focus here. To get that in the, I still have to trim away. I feel like it's rocking a little bit. So there'll be a little trimming and adjusting to get that, sorry for that, to get that fitting correctly. And then of course we'll do the same on the other side to close that up. Now my plan to kind of light, of course, this connecting part to our bridges, this midsection or coning tower, whatever it is I plan to, this is the top part of the hole, I'm going to cut a section here to let these wires run in between, and then I'm going to have some kind of light module kind of like this. I'm not going to, I originally did this, but I think this is overkill. This is ultra bright LEDs. They're really close together. This is, I think, too much kind of overkill. This was just some leftover. But this kind of show you what the plan is that this will sit in here kind of like that. And it'll sit in the middle. There's enough space to kind of run something about this size, and then that will do our lighting. But I'm going to design and print something that has like a hollow center so I can run these wires through the center so they won't block any of the lights. So that's what's going on with the towers. I'll be attaching this other tower to this side and then closing it up. There is a cover piece. I don't know if I mentioned that. There's a cover piece here, if you look like on this one, where I've channeled that out and got rid of it so I can run my wires through. And then you can attach the part like this onto there. So plenty of room for wiring. You just have to do a little bit of channeling and cutting away, but nothing major to get those wires into the bridge. Here I have one of the main engines. I did make a change on the engines here. Originally I had a blue light. I've now replaced it with a 3mm white flickering engine light or light, LED light. And just to kind of show you what that's going to look like. We'll get some flickering effects to get a nice engine effect going. And this is not glued together yet. As you can see here, I can get this in focus. You can see the LED, and it's a white 3mm. I have it hot glued into place. I've never had any issues with hot glue. It's also super glued into place, but then I put hot glue to really kind of get it in there. You just want to try to get it in the middle or your light will look kind of funky coming out your engine. So I've done that with all 4 of the main engines. You have kind of 2 longer shafts and then 2 shorter ones. I'll be doing the same. I'll be putting the 3mm into the smaller auxiliary engines, and I'll show you more once we get to that, but just give me a quick look at how the main engines are coming out. And also I've been working on my display base. And here you can see I have this kind of wood hobby frame or whatever it is. It's wood. I got this off Amazon. I think I bought like a pack of 6, pretty cheap. I think it only came out to like a couple of dollars each when I bought that multi-pack. So you can see here I have kind of a Death Star design. I'm still not sure what pattern, if I'm doing like the Imperial or the Republic type Venator. Either way, I'm going to be using this. I know the Venators weren't probably around during the Death Star. However, it just give it a little bit of visual interest. So this part here is something I designed. It was I took some Death Star tiles that were on Thingiverse and brought them over to Tinkercad. You can see there's kind of two different where I kind of flip-flopped and I stretched and did a few things with them. And then I added in a little bit more detail. There's some other things. And I'm going to try to add a little bit other detail to it to give it a little bit more visual interest. But this will be our base. You can see where I've went ahead and drilled a hole for the power connector. This will run off a kind of a 12 volt LED power supply to power the ship. And then I have my monitor mount. It's the top's off there right now because it was silver and I've just painted it black. I'm trying not to touch it too much. It does fit in here. It's a little snug, but that will fit in there. And it should give us a pretty nice look. Now, of course, I'll paint this up and I'm going to prime and paint it and sand it so it doesn't look so wood grain here. This part will be black, and then, of course, we'll have the kind of gray Death Star tile. So that's where I'm at with my several things going on. It's a little bit slow going. I've had a lot going on in my work, so I haven't had a lot of bench time. And also the storm, the hurricanes that come through, I've had family in Florida that's come out and stayed with me. So, of course, I haven't been able to spend much time. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I know it's kind of a shorter video, but we're getting there. We're making progress. And so far, I think everything's coming out pretty good.